Welcome to a very beautiful spring morning here. It's May 1st, and it is known as the ancient celebration of Beltane, a Celtic tradition that literally means bright fire. And if you've been following me, you know that I really appreciate the quarter seasons, the shifts that are sort of imperceptible or underneath the surface that happen between the larger quarter points of the year. And in this case, it's halfway between the spring equinox and the summer solstice. And so what happens at this point of the year is this incredible shift that takes place where the darker half of the year has come to a close, and this season of growth and new opportunities and new beginnings is really breaking forth. And there's this beautiful Celtic agrarian tradition in which the cattle who survived the winter would be released out into the fields. And they would be brought through fires, really the smoke of the fires, these large bonfires, in order to purify the cattle, kind of spiritually, but also physically, because the smoke from the fire would protect the cattle from parasites and bugs and diseases that they might get. And it was really this powerful, powerful kind of breaking through the thresholds, particularly the sense of survival and celebration after having survived. And I know for me, that's a really powerful experience to acknowledge. For me, having had some major transitions in the last 3 years of my life, leaving my profession as an ordained clergy, having my third and hopefully last child, and really transitioning my identity as someone who wants to help others sort of break free from toxic systems of family and culture and profession and religion, and really coming out as sort of the fullest version of myself and really reclaiming my own narrative has taken a lot of under the surface sort of discernment and excavation. And so to come to this point where I'm sort of sitting by this batch of daffodils that are just in full bloom and entering the season of Beltane, which is this acknowledging that the dark half of the year has surpassed and one has survived. It's an incredible feeling, but it also comes with some trepidation, some hesitation, some uncertainty, some anxiety, and that's something that I think is really important to acknowledge for anyone who is going through a transition. In fact, there's this really amazing element as part of the ancient celebration of Beltane was that there was sort of this understanding of the thin space between life and death, dark and light, and also the natural and the supernatural. And so the idea was that this was sort of the last night, the night of Beltane, May 1st, was the last night that the spiritual world, in some ways sort of the dark spirits or these mischievous fairies would come out, and it was the last opportunity they had to sort of wreak havoc over the human world. And people would decorate their houses with the fresh greens that they had collected from outside. And there's a tradition now on May Day, which is known kind of contemporarily, is delivering sort of these beautiful flower bouquets on people's doors. And in the last community that I lived in, there was a beautiful family who was homeschooling their children and teaching them a lot of these beautiful nature-oriented traditions. And on May 1st, the girls in the family kind of would scamper during the morning, I think, before I woke up, and deliver these beautifully hand-picked wildflower bouquets and stick them on our front door, hanging off of our doorknob. And I think that's the season that I'm in, of wanting to just place these sort of footprints of beauty and curiosity and spiritual openness wherever I go. And it's something that I think is going to perhaps comfort me during those times of uncertainty that I'll continue to have as I enter this period. So I offer that as a word of comfort, a word of hope for anyone who's going through a transition, who perhaps is feeling blockages within their own selves about fully moving through those new thresholds. That you can sort of pepper that space of uncertainty with awareness of the beauty of your surroundings, the strength that you have within you, and just being aware of the subtleties that are happening both inside you and around you that will give you the tools and the foundation and the grounding to really take that step through that threshold into really that second half of the year, perhaps the second half of your life. It's a really beautiful time, one of great possibility, and one that I just hope that you're able to enjoy to its fullest.